Hello, 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 hello. We are live again. Oh, technical issues. We are so um sorry about that. We are really running behind time. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Yes, 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 yes. Still trying to set up. Still trying to set up. Hello. Yeah. Still trying to set up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining. It's a wonderful time. I'm so happy that we're able to conquer this. Yes, yes, yes. I said today we are talking on the issue of rape. Rape has been an issue declined. Rape has been an issue that has been okay from time. They will say from time immemorial. It has been an issue that has been right from the Bible days. We see many instances and many scenarios that people were raped in the Bible. People were raped in the Bible. You remember the story of Tamar that was raped by her step brother. Hello. Ah, thank you for
Okay,
joining me,
finally.
sister. My
Good
mama
evening.
T. Good to have you. Good
Same
to have
here.
you. You know, in spite
Finally.
of whatever, we will always overcome.
Oh, yes, we will.
And that's the power of being persistent, you know.
Exactly.
I'm so
Exactly.
happy to have you. Welcome. God bless you.
Same here. Same
Yes.
here. Good
Yeah.
evening, ma.
I was just apologizing to the audience that we are really behind time, but I'm so happy
Yes,
that we're still able to make it.
exactly.
How is your end?
Fine, thank God. And yours? Happy Sunday.
Same to you. I'm
Happy
very
first
happy.
resumption back to church.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
it's really fun to be back
Yes,
to
yes, yes,
service,
yes.
connecting to
Mhm.
everybody. I'm so excited. God bless you.
Yes,
Thank you for
yes.
joining. Thank you for joining.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Same here. I'm
I think
grateful. I'm
today
happy to
we're
be
talking
here.
about we are talking on the issue of rape.
Mm.
Rape have just is not something that is new, but it's been long. It's something that has been with us from the beginning of time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's been with us from the beginning of time. Of course, when we go into the our holy book, we see many some
Cases of
instances
it.
of rape cases. But
Mm.
I want to throw this question: who are those that are victims? Who are those that are vulnerable to be raped? Do we have a particular gender?
Well, okay, good evening to everybody once again. I'm glad to be here. I just want to appreciate the woman of God first and foremost, and I want to appreciate God first and foremost for giving us this beautiful time. And sorry for coming up late, technical issues. And I want to say kudos to the woman of God. You've been doing a wonderful job, and it's a great honor to be doing this together with you this evening. God bless you. I pray your ministry will go global, go beyond the walls of Nigeria and Africa in Jesus' name. So back to what we're talking about this evening, Ray. Is there a particular agenda? It's a yes and no. It's yes and no. Because it's both male and female can be raped, but predominantly it's female. We do have more, like we all know the story. We can't even overflog it, or we can overflow anyhow. It's mostly women, and not once a girl begins to get to the age of puberty, once a girl begins to develop breasts, begins to develop curves and everything, she becomes presentable, liable to be raped. And talk less of the gory stories we've been hearing of late. I've read stories of 4 years old, 5 years old being raped. And then you begin to imagine, what feminine features does a girl of 5 or 6 have? Does she have breasts? No. So answering that question, who can be raped or gender-wise? A boy can be raped. We've had issues, we've read stories, we've seen people come up, boys come up, men come up later in life to say, oh, my maid once did this. Definitely there will be no penetration, because rape has to do with, it's sexual intercourse without the person's consent, and mostly it has to do with genital penetration. But when it comes to boys, as in when they are still boys, they actually might not be penetration, because the penetration will have to come from the male side. So mostly it's always sexual abuse, like their private parts being fondled at an inappropriate age and things like that. But for girls, the story is totally different. From 3, 4, if a boy of 15 years old lays his hands on a girl of 5, definitely there will be penetration if that is the full-scale intention. So it weighs more on the female side, on the girl side, and it's bad.
So it weighs more on the girl. They are more vulnerable, and the percentage of the girls being raped are higher than the boys. But I want to share this because I have a story, someone I know very well. Okay, I want to talk about boys also being raped or being abused. We may not use the word rape, but
For
abused.
boys.
Yes, for boy. I know someone that leaves the children. Okay, once the boys are back from school, you just tell them to go stay with these aunties, okay, in the neighborhood till she's back from work. And one day I saw her, she was engaging in a fight with these ladies. And I was like, what's the problem? She said, Mommy, Pastor, I'm coming back. She went to put on her trouser and she wanted to fight. So I had to hold her, follow her to her flat. I said, what was the problem? What's the problem? She said, do you know that all the while I keep my boys with these aunties have been inserting my son's private into their privacy. I'm telling you that story, something that I know about and I've heard about. So I also think that when we are talking about rape or abuse or penetration, it is not only girls. Are you with me? It's not only girls, vice versa.
Yes,
so boys
yes,
too can be abused. They can also be raped. Okay, so I just want us to establish that fact that especially mama boys like you say, me, thank God though, it's boys, nothing.
No,
I don't want us to live with that impression. Yes, I don't want us to live with that impression that it is only girls. So more of boys, please watch your back. Okay, so
we've had stories of grown-up guys, not boys. Now, when they are still boys, you might talk of that there will be no penetration, but I've actually heard stories of grown-up guys that are, like in high institutions where we have cultism. The girls too, they have their own cults now. We've had stories of them, laying their hands on a guy and forcing him to sleep with them. That is rape, because you're actually forcing a guy to sleep against his consent. And on
Okay.
refusing, you know, they beat, they, you know, a lot of things, bring out a lot of harmful tools and beat the guy. You must sleep with 4 or 5 of us and things like that as an act of revenge. So on that side, that is rape because it's not coming from the guy's heart. He doesn't want to, but he has no choice. So, but those are rare, but it does happen, even in adult male. It
So,
happens.
so as long as there is no consent, then it is a rape.
It is rape, yes.
When there is
That is
no
how,
consent.
as long as there is no consent, it is
Yes.
rape. It is rape.
And
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 I,
and, and taking advantage, maybe for someone that is younger, the person does not give consent, but you take advantage, okay,
of
of the
that,
person's weakness. So we can
yes.
also say that is also rape
Mm,
on a good day.
exactly. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
And then
So
another thing is that
okay. You
okay,
can
another
go
thing
on.
is that for the age range of people that would like to, now talking more on the female side now, on the ladies side, if you look at, okay, girls, but we now see that mostly when girls begin to get into higher institution,
Okay.
by the time they are rounding up, they're in their secondary school days, because we have to bring our story, bring our narration back to our present generation. What is obtainable in our society now? We can't talk about the 80s or 90s when we were going to school, you know. We're going, everybody, you know, at times the way we dress then, it's okay, people overlook things,
Church
but
man.
it's not like that, you know. It's not, things have changed. So we need to face reality. We don't need to put those words under our tongue. We need to say it as it is. Things are not like before again. You know, so it's not, you're in secondary school, you're preparing to go to university. Those age range is even the worst, as in they're like, it's like if
Vulnerable.
the signs are just there because you're walking by, a guy looks at you, they do cat calls, you know, those kind of things. Your university is the lecturer is looking at you, he's seeing a sexual image. You go to lesson, the boys in the classes are seeing a sexual image. You are in GSS3, the boys that are around now. So that one is even a topic entirely on its own. As in the people that, because rape happens between two people. Somebody will have to
Yes.
look at it though, think of
Yeah.
something, have sexual arousal, and look like, okay, because for me, like I was just going through this topic before we came, while looking through it, and something came up that the rape is not about the sex, it's about the power.
Okay.
Because for somebody to rape you, the person is able to dominate you,
Have dominion. Yeah.
subdue you. Exactly.
Subdue.
Because if you can push the person away, if you can overpower the person, because verbally you are saying, no, I do not want. But then you are resisting the person and the person
Yeah.
is not stopping. What will make a girl or a lady eventually give up is that she becomes tired. She keeps struggling and fighting.
Yeah.
So for the guy, he believes so much in his power.
It is
I
strong.
can overpower this person. So at times, most times for me, I feel it's about the power. I can overpower you, weaken you, silence you, cover your mouth and everything, threaten you, and then it happens.
Okay.
Because if
So
a girl
because
can
of
rise
the,
up and fight, it won't happen.
yeah. So what do you think? Are you saying that girls should be defensive? How do they become defensive, especially when they do not have the muscular power to defend themselves?
So that is why the narrative has to change. For us to say we want to raise our girls to be defensive, that means we're encouraging the male child to keep
To
on
be
doing that. It's
proactive?
okay. So the narrative has to change. We have to start training our male generation, our male gender. We have to start training them that it is not okay. It is not good because once a guy does not make an attempt to have sex with a girl by force, then rape will not happen.
Yeah, rape will not come in. So
It
what?
won't come in.
So I want to ask that then what are the likely causes, okay, that propel rape,
To happen.
yes, to happen?
Okay. Well, for most guys, from studies that I've read about and from things I've noticed, Some of them, they just want to flex their muscles. Some is from rejection. For some guys, it's rejection. They've been rejected. It's either maybe a particular guy. If you listen to stories, if you watch some videos, people, rapists that have been caught when they are confessing, it's either he has been making advances at the girl. The guy might have low inferior complex. Do you understand? Has a low so he has been making advances at the girl, and again, it's like you and who we are not in the same level and things like that. Imagine maybe okay, they live on the same street because most times, most of this is somebody they're living in the same neighborhood or they go to the same church. There is always something. Occasionally, maybe a robbery takes place and then you are gangrene or something like that. But mostly, if you trace those stories, it's a family member, an uncle, a friend, somebody you know. Exactly, because for you to be in the same room with that person, it has to be there's a level of communication, a level of familiarity between the two parties. So maybe they're making advances, and then girl has been saying no, or maybe the girl gives admission into university like you are forming. Maybe the guy is learning a trade. I will show you.
Okay.
So it's rejection. So the female too,
Complex
we have to
problem.
be mindful. Yes. When a guy is making advances at you because you do not know the inner intention, know how to turn a guy down. Don't turn a guy down anyhow. Because he might start nursing it. Okay, I
I'll
will
deal
show
with
you.
you.
And imagine if you turn him down in front of his friends.
Yeah.
Not
Give
encouraging
patience.
or supporting, yes. Not saying,
Exactly.
I'm not trying to speak up for, I'm not trying to say if a girl make
Justify.
advances at you and that you must know. But the truth is that rape is here. It has always been here and it's very worse now. You need to protect yourself. So if a guy is making
I want
advances
to
at
add,
you,
I want to add this. I want to add this to that likely causes of rape. Okay,
yes,
looking at our boys now. I want to say that starting from home, especially we mothers, we should we should not just be dressing before our children. Right from age 2, they are able to see. Right from age 3, age 4, they are seeing. So you say, it's just a child, and you are dressing before your child. You are walking in the house nude before your child.
naked.
The signals are going in, and they are sticking. Okay, so that is one part. Then
Yes,
allowing them, the male, the female, allowing the negative exposure of the body continuously send signals to the brain, and it sticks, and the child grows with the picture.
begin to have a picture.
Yes. So once he keeps growing with the picture, he will want to now go and experiment. So we are looking at
Mm.
the likely causes. So from the home front, I think we should check it from there. Do not expose, especially the male children, to negative pictures. You know, you start from there before they now enter into pornography. Okay,
Yes.
protect them. When they are with the female, let the boys have their room, let the girls have their room, let that privacy, okay, be there. Then
And
also,
and then
okay, ma.
another thing, because that point you raised now, because I always like being as practical as possible, because we have to look at the standard of living of some people. You know, what a family can afford in terms of, being able to separate the children in different rooms. In order to deal with the issue, we have some people that all they have to themselves is a room. Some
One
people all they
room.
have is 2 rooms and they have 4 or 5 children. Now, how do they do? What do they do? So that brings up parenting too is very, very important. The parents, they have to be skillful, they have to apply application of wisdom. You have to apply wisdom. Well, how do I play my role as a good mother and as a good father? Like, it's either you have to sacrifice waking up earlier than them to take your bath and dress up. It might seem this thing, but that's just
You
the truth.
demarcate. I
Or
know
you
when growing up, our
demarcate.
parents demarcate one room with a
The
clock
curtain,
curtain.
to demarcate and everything. But
Yes,
parenting is the everybody just wake up and we're all about chasing money
yes,
and things like that. And a lot of things are left undone. You get. So, for
yes.
me, the causes of rape from my own side, I feel rejection. When a guy feels rejected, a guy feels vengeful. Sometimes it's for vengeance. Sometimes they just want to express their power. You know, some people, like when people are rich, they have money, they want to flaunt it.
You want
So
to
when
make
the
a
guy feels
statement.
that, you want to make a statement. Do you understand? They want to oppress. They want to show you
Yeah.
that. Do you understand? So some people, they just set out just to oppress a girl, that I can do this. Sometimes it's even like it's like a game between guys. You can sleep
Betting.
with that girl. You cannot. Show yourself. Prove that you are a guy. Do you understand? So for me, it still goes back to how are we raising our male
Male
children? We
children.
need to change the narrative. Once a
Okay.
boy does not, or a man or a guy, depending on the age range, you do not make unnecessary advances, or if you do, because the truth is that there will be sexual urges at a particular age. There's
Age.
nothing we can
We
do
can.
about that. Sex
Yeah.
education is even another topic. We're not going to be talking about that here. We're talking about rape. That time of a child will come, a boy will come, puberty, they begin to have sexual urges. But when that boy has been properly taught at home how to deal with the sexual urges, when he has been taught by the father at home, when you approach a girl and she says no, no is no.
Walk
Know
away.
how to manage your sexual urges. Once he has the fear of that, the understanding of that, if he approaches a girl and like, I'm sorry, I'm not ready. I'm
Not
sorry,
interested.
I'm not into this. That should be enough. Then we're not talking about rape anymore.
Okay. So working on the self-image of a male child is very, very
Very
important. And we're,
important. Very
and we're talking
important.
about a male child. Of course, I wanted to say that men, most of the people that rape 30 years old, raping a 3 years old. Okay, I wanted to say they are not children, but it's a bottled
Cannot.
up issue from childhood that is coming into
Exactly.
adulthood. Into adulthood.
Exactly.
So we
Exactly,
really
ma'am.
need to work on people's mindset, emotions, self-confidence. Major problem is low self-esteem.
Esteem.
Low self-esteem is a major problem. You want to make a statement, you don't want to prove something. I do not need to do this to prove that I am this. You understand? You know when Adam and Eve were tempted, he said, if you are God, he
Yes.
said, if you want to see like God, if you want to be like him, do what? Eat. So because they
Kids.
wanted to prove, they had to eat.
Prove
And
that
that
they
is
too
what
can be like God.
is a problem of low self-esteem. Because you know that he said, let us make man in our own image. I'm
Image.
already in
In
his
his
image.
image. If
So I
only
don't
they
need
had
to
the
prove
understanding
anything.
that yes, 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 yes. And if
So
you want to look at it, if you want to look at it biblically, we have to also look at it away from the Bible if we want to reach a larger audience on this topic. You know, biblically, we should not, as Christians, we should not even have it. Because if you are not married, they should not be
yeah,
engaged in.
definitely.
But then if you want to really do justice to the topic, we have to just face the fact that it is happening. People are having adulterous, this thing, fornication, and things like that. So the truth is that the father, okay, like the story of okay, we've not got into that, but sorry, I have to jump to the story
It's
of
okay, we can go into it.
Tamar,
Yeah.
because one thing struck me in that story. When Ammon, is it Ammon now? Amnon, what's the
I'm on
right pronunciation
the
now?
stepbrother.
When yes, he was struck when he started noting the idea of liking his stepsister. One thing struck me. The person that noticed his countenance and his mood was his cousin,
It's,
not his father.
yes. Yes.
So it's
Mm.
either the father is not, there's something to look out there. The father, were you, because they didn't talk about the mother in that story, I did not know, but the father was talked about. It was the cousin that noticed the father. I guess the father was maybe was busy with, you know, the affairs of the state, how to run the country and things like that, things like that. It was the cousin that noticed and said, what troubles you? What is it? And he now told him, and unfortunately, he gave him an evil counsel.
Mm.
Had it been, it was David that noticed that something is troubling my son, and he had opened up to his father. As a father, I believe he wouldn't give him that counsel. He would have talked
Advice.
to him, counseled him. Because further in the story, you will notice that when he made an attempt to sleep with her, Tamar suggested, this is not good. Talk to my father. He will give
He
you
will
my
give,
hand
yes.
in
In
marriage.
marriage. Yes.
So if he had opened up to David, They would have said, okay, Kuku Maria, if that's what is doing you to sleep with that, or channel it this other way. But it was not David that noticed that his son was troubled. It was his cousin. So where are you as a parent when your children are troubled? Do you notice those things? Yeah, especially when they begin to get to secondary school, very sensitive. Do you understand? Because once the primary school, innocence is gone. Once they enter secondary school, they mix and they mix with boys from different, like my own children. They don't watch all them. It's not by being proud or something, but I myself, all those musical channels, and all those, I don't watch them because once you open them, they're either dancing with breasts and dancing, but if you go to many houses, parents leave their children, they watch anything. So they are exposed to a lot of things. You see a boy in primary 4. I went to my child's end of the year party, was it last December? They were doing primary 6 now. It was just primary 6 then. They were doing dancing competition. A girl of I last said that is in primary 3 or primary 4. If you see the way she was dancing.
Right.
So people were happy, but my mind was like, how did she get to know all this?
All this. And that signal, rape signal.
And the mother was there, a teacher in that school, and they were telling me that. The mother also came out like, but that is how it starts. You think they are catching fun, but that is how it starts. So that is the girl. Imagine boys of that age. So definitely that girl in primary 3, she can dance like that because she has been watching TV, watching those things. So a boy of that same age, under that same woman, sees all those things. When you watch Davido's this thing or the Whiskey, all of them, all those Naira Marley, what do they see? They see breast, naked, this thing, they dance naked. So at that age, they see everything. Then when you now get to secondary school, your own child that have been nurturing, they will go and mix up with those kind of people. And then you are not observant of your child.
Thank you.
Because they go to school 8 o'clock, most times they come back 4, 5. That is where they spend their life. That is where they spend their life. They come back, by the time you said come back, they're all tired. 6, 7, one of us come back in the evening. Then Saturday, you want to go to one church program or something. You are busy. Then on Sunday, you go to church, you do ministration. Look at it. So the major part of this children's life is in school. Yeah. And at school, they are meeting with different kind of people. The things you are guiding against, some mothers are not guiding against you. And they will listen to their friends. They will gist. They will tell them this. They will advise them. Yes, ma'am. So we have to be vigilant.
So now we are talking about intimacy between parents and children.
We have to be vigilant.
I want to come to that story again. When the cousin advised him, tell your father that you want the girl to make food. This girl has never made food for you, not to talk of even bringing it to your room. He told the father, he said, let her not only prepare it, but let her come and serve me.
And he now sends the servant away.
That is a signal. The father should have picked it. Because they have mates that cook, mates that feast, mates that goes to serve. So why do you want your sister to come and serve you? I think parents should be sensitive too. Yes. When a child is telling you, my mommy, uncle so like this, likes my sister, it's a giveaway answer. That's a signal. Yeah. Before that younger child can say that, he has seen something. So parents they must read in between the lines of the children's statements and utterances. So immediately, Ammon told David, let my sister come and serve me and bring it to my room.
You should have asked why. This has not happened before. Why?
Yeah, you should have thought that.
Because, if you have asked that you've never requested for such before, why are you now? But then he failed in that aspect.
Yeah.
He failed in that aspect.
So we are concluding that parents should be sensitive.
It starts from the home. Yes,
parents should be sensitive.
They should not
overlook actions, body languages, remarks
at
and
all.
passing comments
Both the male child and the
and the
female child,
female.
both the male child and the female child. Yes.
Okay. So how can we protect our children? What can we do to
Hmm.
protect them?
Well, to protect ourselves, amen. I wrote something down. Okay.
Okay.
Personal safety starts with you.
As a parent.
No, it's even in two ways. Because there's an age you get to, your parents cannot protect you against rape
Yes,
anymore. Yes,
definitely.
because you have to categorize the people, the age range of, like, if you're still like you're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, of course, your parents are still protecting you. But for me, like when you're still getting to secondary school, especially they're crossing from TSS to SS, it might not really now be your parents still have to protect you. But now, they are moving to an adolescent, the age they are moving to now, they're already preparing, thinking of higher institution. They have self-awareness, they want to make their choices, they can choose the one, you don't have to pick clothes for them anymore. They say, hey, your child, you still pick the clothes. Oh, don't wear that,
Yeah.
go and wear that. But at the age he or she gets to, you don't have to pick their clothes for them anymore. They decide these are
Definitely.
combined by this thing. So they're already making choice. So as parents, if your child is still within that age range of where you still make decisions, they're
For
still in
them.
primary school. Like I remember my experience with my former neighbor. They had a young girl. And anytime she comes to my apartment, she'll wear one very skimpy. It's at home. And when she's coming, they know me. Ah, and you know what where you talk. I'll talk my own. If you're coming to my apartment, do not. And then I said, I understand. You want to be trendy, you want to be fashionable.
Yeah.
It's always that it's a guy, it's because when you talk about how a girl dresses, the defensive thing for most ladies is always that it does not matter what a lady wears. If a man is good and decent, you should not sexualize and look at a young girl and look at her with the eyes of the object, sexualize that young girl. It is the truth. Every decent man, every decent boy and guy, you shouldn't look at a 4-year-old or 5-year-old, say, I've been thinking of sex. That is the truth. But that is not how it is.
We
That
must
is
face
how it
reality.
ought to be. But that is not how it
It
is.
is
So if you
now.
begin to concern yourself with, let my child wear anything, who is that this thing? If you're not a demon, if you're not evil, if you're not a bad person, why should you look at an 8-year-old? Don't wait for your child to be among the data number. This thing, we now have 713 cases in Lagos. Don't let your daughter be the 715th case. Protect that girl. It's not going to cost anything. Though the truth is that even when we are wearing full gown, somebody that will rape will still rape you.
Yeah,
Fine,
definitely.
but play your part. Teach your girl, dress decently. Because sometimes some of these things are triggered by how you dress.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, as an image, the picture that is formed. Men, they are aroused by what they see.
They see.
It takes an indecent guy, truly. It takes an indecent person to look at an 8-year-old person, even a 10-year-old girl. You have to have a very, you are a pervert. That person is a pervert. To look at such a person and be thinking of how to fondle. But the truth is that protect your child. So you're looking at how do I protect this child? Dress well and talk to that girl, talk to that child, talk to that child why it is important for you to dress well, why it is important for you not to sit on the laps of anybody anyhow.
Yes. That's where
This
I'm
one is
going.
what uncle okay, those age are over. It was during our own time. Even during our own time, it was there. But it was just that we don't talk as much as we're talking now. Yes, it was there. We've had uncles that have tried to abuse us sexually, uncles in the 80s, in the 90s. There are stories from my side, from friends' side. There was a time we were talking and we were just saying different. I remember my cousin one day, I remember, but we're not talking about it then, but now we are talking about it. So now we have to talk to our girl child. It's no longer allowed. No
Yes.
friend gisting with any uncle. Don't shoot any uncle. If any, like I have 3 boys, but I ask them questions in a very coded way. Who checked your penis in school today? Innocently, I just want to hear their reaction. I don't know what I'm trying to, but I just want them to be that free with me. So as a parents, we have to do that. Talk to our girl child, dress them properly, I know fashion trend is very haywire right now. We want to
Something
be
else.
on top of everything, but safety first. That's for girls in that age category. Then girls that when begin to get secondary school, higher institution, now we make our decision. Your parents are not there with you. Protect yourself.
Yourself.
Safety first.
Don't work late night.
You know the things that triggers guys. This one is not that one guy there, why should he be looking at me like that? Why should he be objectifying me? Don't be a number. Protect yourself. Don't work late at night. Don't go to the hostel anyhow.
Don't go to
Then you
classes in the midnight alone.
don't wear clothes that will expose your body anyhow. Don't wear clothes that will arouse the opposite sex anyhow. This one is not about, if you begin to debate, it does not matter. This one, when they are doing it, they'll just be looking. Is it debating that matters, or we save more people? We save
Yes.
more people. Save more people. Let's just do what we need to do while
And
we work on the
I also
miracle.
want to add this. When we are saying parent, we are not saying only your biological children.